Before we begin, I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year to make all these special videos, so if you like the content here, please consider subscribing to help fulfill Project 10K. Thank you. Now on to the video. When Cars 2 released in 2011, Mattel made a wide variety of new 1/55 scale items in addition to just the regular die-casts. Yeah, they did Cars 2 color changers, but they also introduced a bunch of new short-lived lines, like the Charge-Ups, the Quick Changers, a series of 1/55 scale plastic pullback cars, and of course, the Cars 2 Lights and Sounds die-casts. The fact that they were able to cram a light-up feature and dialogue into such a small item is honestly pretty impressive, especially for 2011. Of course, talking toys have been a thing for a very, very long time, but getting talking cars at this scale is something we hadn't seen before and honestly haven't really seen again since. Unfortunately, in the modern day, these Cars 2 Lights and Sounds items are pretty hard to come by in working condition. Like, I'm pretty sure I've heard of cases of people who bought them new in box and they still don't work. So unfortunately, while I was recently able to add my first ever Lights and Sounds car to my collection with this Mater that my friend Robin Tailsfighter sent me, he doesn't function. Robin knew this when he sent this to me. That's actually why he was willing to send this to me. This is a duplicate Mater that he has. He replaced the batteries. He tried a new set of batteries for this Mater when he got it, but unfortunately, it just doesn't work. For a while, I thought I wasn't going to review it, but I decided, hey, may as well. It's a new item for me. So I put it on one of my most recent polls, and you guys actually voted for this to be my next review. So even though it doesn't work, it's still going to be pretty fun to take a look at this Mater. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at, of course, Lights and Sounds Mater. Specifically this broken one. That was a duplicate that Robin sent me a few months back. So let's get started. Much like the Light Up Precision Series Mater, which I own and which does still work, Mater's Lights and Sounds are activated when you push down on his engine. He would have a light coming out of his headlight here, a very yellow light, but a light nonetheless, and he would also say some phrases. Now, unfortunately, since mine doesn't work, I can't show those phrases, but I did find a YouTube review from the time so that you guys can hear some of what Mater would have to say.
Thanks, buddy. Dad, gum. I did exactly what I was thinking. Hey, buddy. Well, that sounds like fun, too. Well, I never leak oil. Never. I don't get them this buff, pulled, filled, or painted by nobody. Hey, look out, ladies. Mater's fitting to get funky.
After hearing that, I'm honestly kind of glad mine doesn't work anymore. That is some of the crustiest audio I think I've ever heard. I could barely make out what he's saying. That's honestly kind of ridiculous. No wonder they stopped making these. I don't know. Sounds a little rough. I'll leave a link to that full review in the description so you could hear more of what Mater would be able to say. Probably the thing I like most about this Mater and what makes me most interested about him is the fact that he actually has a unique facial expression. This is a unique Mater smile, and it's one that I honestly quite like. I've never been the biggest fan of closed-mouth Mater grins, so as much as I like Race Team Mater, I do think I prefer this expression to that one. Unfortunately, there's a bit of damage here on the decal for the eyes, but yeah, really solid expression. This is exclusive to this Mater, as well as one other Mater, that being the Collect and Connect Mater that came with a puzzle back in 2011 and had those special silver wheels. So these are the only two that had this facial expression, and probably the most interesting thing about that is that both of them are regular non-race team Maters. As you can see on the side, Mater just has his regular old Tow Mater Towing and Salvage Radiator Springs logo. This is just a regular Mater. You know, it could be a Mater from anything. It just so happened to release for Cars 2 and have lines from and about Cars 2. But it is just a regular blank Mater, as was the Collect and Connect, which just had those special silver wheels. I'm pretty sure these would be the only ways, these two Maters would be the only way to get a Mater in 2011 that didn't have that race team logo or wasn't themed to a specific scene from Cars 2. Really the only way to get a blank regular Mater there, which is pretty interesting, you know, since Mater doesn't have that race team logo on him for most of the movie, but for Cars 2 merchandise, they put it on him all over the place so that you knew it was new and different. And if he didn't have that, he probably had a spy accessory on him. Now, as you can see, unfortunately, he is also missing the sticker on the back. for his caution stripes. That's pretty common from Maters from this time. Recently, I bought a few Maters online, and if you guys remember, one of the ones I showed off didn't have that sticker either. I think it was You the Bomb Mater, which was ironically the 2011 You the Bomb Mater, which accidentally had the race team logo on him. So, you see, even when he wasn't supposed to have that race team logo, he still did sometimes. And the final thing of note about this Mater is, of course, the fact that his speaker is located back here where Mater's back window was supposed to be. We don't often get Mater's back window detailed on diecast, and it wasn't something they started doing until his Precision Series release, but it is funny that this is where they chose to have his speaker be. Honestly, not a bad decision. I know that I made fun of how bad this Mater sounds earlier on in the review, but I don't think the audio would be muffled by putting it here. You know, it's very hollow back here. It's a pretty smart place to put it. And finally, there is a look at the base, including, of course, the battery compartment. This just takes 3 of those little tiny button batteries, or the watch batteries, whatever you want to call them. And as you can see, unfortunately, the door for the batteries has completely rusted over. Yikes. But there you have it, guys. Lights and Sounds Mater. Even though mine doesn't work, it still is pretty cool to know that at one point they tried to do a Lights and Sounds diecast line. Even if the audio sounds a little crunchy, a little crusty, and a bit off, it's still a really fun concept that I'm honestly shocked they haven't tried again. Of course, we have gotten light-up cars diecasts since this line back in 2011 and 2012, thanks to the Precision Series. Now we have the Glow Racers, which are glow-in-the-dark, which isn't the same, but still, they do glow, right? But I'd absolutely love to get battery-operated cars diecasts once again. I would love to see that. Having light-up cars or Lights and Sounds cars would be a super, super cool thing. I'm so surprised they haven't tried it again since this original run. I'd love to see it with the advancements in toy technology of the past 10 years, to see how it works and how it sounds now. Hopefully, someday they revisit this. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.